What is happening, everybody? Judd Burdon here with Asphalt Kingdom, and we have an absolutely incredible human being, my brother, my friend, true warrior, Mr. Kevin Gray, president of ADC Paving. What's happening?
What's up, everybody? Great to be here on this beautiful Thursday, man. Great to be here with you, and man, let's get some dialogue going, brother.
Let's get this started. All right, everybody. So let's talk about how to create the momentum you need to finish off the season strong. Momentum, what a powerful word. It reminds me of progress, you know? It reminds me of a snowball. It reminds me of like when I was like a kid, 6 years old, and you'd pack this snowball that was like hand size, you know, and you put it down in the snow and you start to roll the thing. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you start to have to ask the people around you to help you push it because it gets so big, and you start building this team that's building this snowball that turns into this huge, powerful ball that starts to gain even more momentum the more people that you add that are committed and dedicated to the actual mission at hand, which is to continue towards that goal that you set for yourself. Man, I know at ADC Paving, you guys, you know, you've been crushing it, and there's, you know, the journey has not been easy. There's been a lot of ups and downs and a lot of growth that's taken place. New people have come in and other people have left, and so on and so forth. And you've really adjusted your GPS coordinates to really always be tuned towards reaching those goals. You know, we all kind of start off, and I'm so interested in hearing what you have to say about this, Kevin, is that we all start off this season with a strong, powerful, yeah, we're going to crush it. Yeah, that goal's set. There's just no doubt in my mind we're going to hit our goals. And you know what? The season starts off strong, and all of a sudden there's, you know, this pandemic that we're dealing with.
Sure.
Right? And then there's this uncertainty that starts to build, and fear, and holy shit, are we going to be able to do this? Are we going to be able to hit our goals anymore? You know what? Let's adjust our goals downward. You know what? Forget it. Let's not adjust our goals downward. Let's just pivot, readjust, and realign and target that goal with the team. So can you tell us a little bit about how it was for you guys at ADC Paving starting off this season as you kind of came away from you know, you were down here at the Gold Digger Retreat, and then we went to the National Pavement Expo, and then of course the season opened up just as this kind of pandemic was touching on us. How was it starting out this season, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's historically, you know, very much like how you just described it. I mean, you come off your winter breaks. This year we were fortunate, and myself and a guy from our team came down to Gold Digger. We took even more people down to Nashville to NPE, and I mean, you know, you come out of the gates on fire. Everybody's amped up. You've got a crystal clear game plan. You've got crystal clear vision. Everybody is well aware of what the goals are. Everybody is well aware of how we're going to get there. So the blueprint is in front of you, and everybody's motivated. Everybody's amped up. And fortunate enough for me, I'm about 10 years into doing this. So foolishly in the past, you just assume that momentum is going to carry through an entire season without checking back into your team and having regular communication and having regular meetings and having, you know, regular pivots or reviewing goal setting. So I'm not quite as naive as I used to be, and understand the importance of checking in with the team frequently and communicating frequently. And I'll tell you what, we start our season about mid-March, and we did a 2-day orientation with our group. We go over our in-house policies, procedures, our own, you know, goals and team building and things like that for the company. We also take a day where we do a team building activity, share a meal together, and really get amped up for the season. We spend the first, this year especially, we parted ways with quite a few people at the end of last season, some very high-level, important leadership positions in our company at the end of last season, just that weren't quite a match for our vision and goals and long-term destiny here. And so we spent a good 30 to 60 days kind of running everybody on the field side in the company together, doing pretty thorough and extensive training for, you know, from our seal coating side, our prep and base crews, our paving crews, our truck drivers, and even our sales team. And we all just wanted to get our feet underneath of us to make sure everybody was crystal clear. And I think that's very important, to almost do that. We almost kind of just reset every season. Even if it's just for 30 days, it could be as short as 2 weeks, depending on how veteran your crews may be. Just to spend a couple weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks. Sometimes it's a couple months. 60 days is fine. I mean, you've got plenty of time in a season to recoup some of that time. But I think if you're not spending the time to train your people, be with your people, get your people in the right positions where they are happy and they can excel, then you're setting yourself up for failure long term for the season. People are going to get burnt out. People are going to get tired. People are going to get frustrated because they feel like they're not being heard. So it's huge to take that time in the early season. And we came out of the gates on fire. You know, this pandemic really didn't start affecting the business world until April, May, even into early June, before you really started feeling the effects. And I can tell you this, as a company, after May, we were 20% ahead of year-to-date 2019. So a year prior, we were ahead. We look at it today. We actually just had a management meeting this morning. We have a management meeting weekly to where all the foremen, the sales team, the office staff sits down for at least 30 minutes once a week and gets on the same page. We are 10% behind revenue goals come August 27th now. So we came out on fire, like big time, and it's slowed down. We actually, thankfully for some PPP money, we were able to take about a 3-week hiatus here and allow our backlog to build here at ADC, which we were fortunate to do. So it's been much lighter, especially the commercial side this season, especially from May to now. And so we had to do exactly what you're talking about. You have to pivot. Our commercial sales are way down, but what do we got to do? We got to survive. We still got to get to this number somehow, some way, and we talk about it weekly. So it's like, what are we doing? Do we need to focus our marketing efforts, our marketing dollars, our budget towards pushing some of this residential work? People are at home spending some money. They're getting some stimulus money. So like, where can we operate to keep the train going and to maximize what we can do on a daily basis? I mean, we've got a number we've got to hit on a daily basis that we know we've got to gross to just keep the train rolling. So a lot of adjustments, a lot of communication, a lot of awareness within management, and management's passing that on to their crews of what's expected, what we got to do, and just keeping the vision crystal clear from March until it starts snowing. You absolutely got to do that stuff.
Man, what I'm hearing too is understanding actually having the clarity in what is taking place. So being in the fog and not having clarity, and let me speak a little bit about numbers. So if you don't know the depths of your numbers in your company, your costs, if you don't understand what your fixed costs, your variable costs are, if you don't understand exactly where you are versus what the sales goals that you have set, if you don't know what your revenue specifically is, if you don't know what your profit margins are, if you don't know where you are on that trajectory to hit that goal, essentially, if you're not understanding the depth of the numbers, then you're working in what I call a chaotic, foggy environment, because you're chasing a tail that just continues to spin. You'll never grab it. And so, I know there at ADC Paving with the team that you've constructed, and I'll tell you, I'm not the numbers guy in our company. I am not that person. I am, I'm innovative and creative and, a marketer. But when it comes down to the depths of numbers, I've had to hire strength to my weakness to be able to allow me to understand what those are. In other words, the grind of the numbers is not my strength, but it is somebody else's strength. And what it allows me to see is reports, so that I can see it with a bird's eye view and say, I got it. we need to knock on this number of doors. We need to give out this number of proposals at this average value each. And based upon our conversion rate of 20% or 30%, this is going to yield this. And if we look at our fixed and variable costs associated with our business and those jobs, we know that we're going to yield this profit margin. A lot of people are hunting the highest revenue number that they possibly can, and it's wrong.
It is. It's totally wrong.
Not about $10 million in revenue, because I know a lot of companies out there right now that are making $5 million, $5 million, $10 million in revenue, and they're losing money.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a big part of our discussion this morning in our meeting was, although it is understanding your number, and if you don't understand your numbers and you are just chasing revenue and saying I got to get bigger, I got to get bigger, I got to get bigger, you're almost, like I said, you're chasing an endless, infinite tail, because you're not understanding really what's going on. I mean, and although our revenue is down now, come August, our gross profit is up. So what's that telling me? We're more efficient, we're more productive, we're selecting better jobs, we're using our manpower smarter, we're planning our logistics out better, less material waste, less labor waste, less fuel waste, whatever those things may be. You know, you could do 10 million bucks, but I want to see how much we're dropping down to that gross profit line, because then we've got a bunch of expenses to pay, and then you get hopefully some left over at the end to be able to reinvest in your business, give back to your people, whatever that may be. So you have to understand there's so many contractors, Judd, that get to, and maybe not even just contractors, but small business owners that get to, if whether you're seasonal or you're an annual business, you get to October, November, and you're like, where's the money? We did 6 million. Where's the cash? And they had no idea, because they weren't watching the right numbers on the sheet. Even if, like you said, you got somebody doing that for you, and you're the creative type, you're not the numbers type, you got to be looking at that stuff, or you're going to get in a bad situation fast.
So you spoke about a meeting that you have. Do you have multiple meetings? Like, do you have management meetings in the company for management, and then do you have team meetings as well?
We do. We have team meetings daily.
Daily.
Daily, yeah. Every morning before we're pulling out of the yard, we're having a specific meeting with our seal coating division. We're having a specific meeting with our prep crew, and we're having a specific meeting with our paving crew. And then,
that's really interesting. So you're basically optimizing every single day. Even if you're ahead of your goal or you're behind your goal, you're still not getting comfortable. You're always keeping that communication line in, and you're helping the team point towards the goal that you're setting. And if you're in bonus round, you're in bonus round, and you keep pushing, optimizing.
If you're in bonus mode, it's foot on the pedal. It doesn't stop. So you can never get comfortable, because you never know. You never know when a 2020 is going to happen. You never know when, you can watch markets, and you can watch the economy, and you can watch elections, and you can try to forecast the way things are going to operate. You can't forecast a pandemic. So, you never can get comfortable, whether you're behind or you're ahead. The things, and this is where I failed in the past with crew burnout and leadership burnout, was when that communication stopped, when those daily meetings stopped, when the vision wasn't talked about on a daily basis, and the goals weren't crystal clear, because people are just floating. They're coming and punching a time clock at that point, and they're like, they have no purpose. Nobody has any purpose. We're just hoping to get some stuff done and bring some money in. You know what I mean? So that I can't stress communication and planning, enough, because it's vital. It's absolutely vital.
Heard you speak about culture so much, man. And as I reflect on conversations that we've had, but also watching you on other interviews and communicating collaboratively with people at Top Contractor School, et cetera, culture is such an important piece of any company, and it's something that that I've realized and I get to reflect on with our teams, with our customer service teams, management teams, our sales teams, our marketing teams, what I'm realizing is that it's not easy to keep culture as strong as you truly like it, and it requires nurturing. It's like a relationship with your spouse. Like literally the nurturing of that is so important. And as leaders, as owners of small businesses and with management, if we lose track and unplug from the key mission of allowing our people to have that purpose, to feel as though they're actually a part of the business, that they bleed it, cry it, sweat it, the company's not going to perform the way that it needs to be. And what will happen from what I'm seeing is you'll have this kind of almost this panic, this uncertainty with your teams of knowing whether or not they fit or not in the company. And then as leaders, we start to feel that energy, and it's the beginning of our building that starts to weaken the foundation and the structure. And this is your company becomes very vulnerable to deterioration and collapse. And so tell us, has culture been easy at ADC, or has it required a lot of energy and time?
We work at it. I've been working at it for 10 years, and I can probably honestly say that I will work on it until I retire, because it's one of those momentum things. It's one of those compounding pieces of the business that if you're not waking up every day thinking, how can we get better? What can we do differently? How can I treat our people better? How can I make them feel more a part of this? Then I think it's going in the other direction. I mean, I'm in the asphalt, paving, and pavement maintenance construction industry. When I'm up in the morning, I think about culture and I think about customer service. Like, that's it. Like, if we can get really good at those two things, then the rest will take care of itself. We can teach you how to run a paver. We can teach you how to rake a good joint. We can teach you how to apply seal coat. If you're a good person and you can mesh in our culture and buy in, then the rest of it takes care of itself. And and I was blind to that from 2011 to 2015 or 16 even. In the last 4 years, I had dinner with one of my mentors here locally, who owns second largest construction company, and they have a paving division here in Louisville, 300 person employee company. When he told me that it took him 9 years to just change this culture, it took him 9 years. Like, this is a marathon. And it's full buy-in, and it starts at the top. I think if you're not willing to lead by example as the leader of your organization, then these people don't know what or who they're following. They have no idea what the core values mean or look like. We can read them, and we read them every single morning before we go out to work. But unless they see that from myself, unless they see that from management, unless they see that from the other up and coming leaders within the organization, then nobody's going to understand it. And the people that don't understand it or buy into it usually don't last too long around here. We've gotten so good at even just the interviewing process that most of those people don't even, I know this sounds harsh or arrogant, but most of those people don't even get an opportunity here. So, I mean, we've really, I feel like we've got a firm grasp on what culture looks like, and that's taken me 6-7 years just to get my arms around it. And now it's, how can we tweak it? How can we improve? I think it's going to be an endless process of my career. I think I will become bored or disinterested with my business if that's not what we're working on. I honestly do, because I think it always can incrementally improve.
At the end of the day, I guess there's two types of people, right? There's the type that are going to make excuses why they can't do things, right? I'm not going to focus on building culture in my company. I'm going to focus on filling my bank account.
Right.
And then there's the other person, which is interested in collaboration, unity, helping people truly spread their wings and make them feel that they truly are a part, because they are a part of the business. Truly make them feel a part of it. When when I watched your team at National Pavement Expo, I watched them wear that ADC brand with pride. And when they drive those trucks, you could see that they get in the truck and they represented the business. And then, you know, and that was something really powerful, and that will only happen more and more, you know. We have team members all over the world at Asphalt Kingdom, and our team members will, like, even though we don't see them on video, I'll get the odd shot and they're wearing an Asphalt Kingdom Nasty Good cap with an Asphalt Kingdom shirt on, and they're sitting there in front of their computer, and I'm talking all over the world, right? And that you want people to feel what culture truly is intended to do and create for the business and for the people, right? It's all about the people.
Yeah, isn't that a beautiful feeling as a leader too, to see that pride in people and to see their passion? Like, it's almost like when, and you can love them or hate them. I don't have a take on this, but it's almost like the New York Yankees, or, you know, like instrumental, monumental teams like that you just see their logo and you understand what it means. You know, and that's our goal in marketing and creating reputation and customer service in our town where we do business, is for people to see those trucks or that logo and say, those guys are the best. That's who you call when you need it. That's who you call, and they don't even think about it.
I wear your ADC paving shirt, you know, days where you don't know I'm wearing it, but when I wear it, I feel good. I feel powerful, right? Because I know what you stand for, and I know what the company stands for. That's something that you are doing. So keep doing it, my man. It's amazing.
Thank you.
So another thing I'd like to talk about is, you know, obviously there's this balance of the season that we've got ahead of us. So now that we've gone over, it's important to meet with your management team. It's important to have those daily meetings with your team, keep that culture strong. A lot of the times through the season, we get a little more comfortable, or I should say a little lazy, because it's been, you know, you've gone through this busy period, and a lot of people have shoveled more than one shovel full of asphalt. I know that for sure. And people start to get a little tired. So there's this realignment to get back on the rails, so to speak. To position yourself for reaching that goal and understanding what you need to do to reach that. So I guess my question to you that I'd love to hear about is, what are you guys doing right now, August 27th, with a couple months left in the season? What are you guys doing right now to position yourself for that goal right now?
We're taking a pivot. That's exactly what we're doing. We threw the numbers up on the whiteboard this morning in the meeting and said, here's where we are. Here's where we need to go. We've got 13 weeks to do that. So, I mean, it goes back to understanding your numbers again. It's like, and we've done this weekly. We almost check weekly where we're at. And so we've got, let's just say we've got $2 million to do between now and Thanksgiving. What is that per week? What is that per day? What kind of gross profit margin is that? If we've got a ton of seal, and this is a real situation, we have a ton of seal coating and maintenance work to do. Why not? We have 16 guys worth of manpower and truck drivers. You know, do we consider, can we get all of this maintenance work done with one crew? Probably not. Why don't we have 2 crews doing that? Why don't we put together a small maintenance patch crew for some days? Why don't we let the paving crew prep some of their own work and prep and pave and share trucking? And so we're, you know, you're pivoting on the manpower you have, the equipment you have, and that revenue, that daily revenue goal that you've got to get to hit your mark, only if gross profit margins remain the same or better. And then you back into it and you go after it like that. I mean, so again, game plan, vision,
numbers, commit,
and commit.
Like one of the things, man, I'll tell you, like committing when your team commits, I get goosebumps talking about this. When your team commits and everybody says aye, and everybody slaps a huge high five and throws down hugs and says we're committed, figuring out the rest of it is easy when you have the commitment, right? So you have the numbers, you know what you need to do. Now you have commitment from the team. If you see your team in a position where they're kind of humming and hawing and not committed to it, you can basically kiss your goal goodbye.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And so what are some of the things that you do with your team to get them committed? Is it, are you showing appreciation? Are you getting some gifts for them? Are you having one-on-one talks with them? Do you chat through WhatsApp with your team? What are some of the things that you do, or all of the above?
Yeah, we actually do all of that. So, I mean, and it's different for every person. I mean, it is our financial benefits more important? Is family time more important? What is it? What kind of appreciation can we show you that actually that's impactful and important? I mean, money's always good. Like people, I mean, especially out in the field, like none of those guys are going to turn away cash when you throw it their way. So we have a pretty loyal and dedicated profit sharing program that we use. I mean, we probably pay guys in town, I think, significantly more than our competitors. So I mean, it's like, if you're not willing to invest in your people are all you have. They're all you got. And if you don't have good people, then kiss your culture goodbye. So we do quite a bit of that. It's not, I don't think it's very common in this industry for people to take vacations during the summertime, but we've had several guys this season say, hey, we've got a lake, can't, they'll come and ask, like, I would really like to take my wife and my kids to the lake for the week. And it's like, go, we'll cover it. And the whole, what's awesome is the whole team says, go, we got your back. We'll cover down. We'll figure it out. So we're pretty liberal with what we allow our people to do. We try to meet their needs as much as we can. And, and don't get me wrong. I mean, it's August, guys. It's been hot. I mean, it was 105 heat index here yesterday. Guys are tired. You do start to get burnt out. They do start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's like, 12, 13, 14 more weeks. So they're feeling some of the effects of that. And sometimes they do have to kind of be pulled aside and say, hey, we're willing to do this for you. We need this in return. That was the agreement we had back in March, so that they can, have a chance to share their voice and talk about things. And so it's tight. And you spoke about earlier about, sometimes having to let people go, even good people go. And that gets more and more challenging as you build a good culture, because you do get personally close to these people. You get to know these people. You get to know their families. You get to know their story. So those things, those hard conversations, and even, term suspensions, terminations, things like that, become more and more challenging, because you as the owner and leader and as the company have vested interest in this person. So it's there's definitely a little bit, you've got to keep people in check from time to time, but if you've got if you've got a good culture and they know they've got 5 or 6 guys on their crew that are relying on them, if they're the right piece for the culture, they'll snap out of it. And I've had, I think every time I've had to have a one-on-one with someone, or one of our foremen have had a one-on-one with something, that crew member almost all the time will go back and verbally apologize to his teammates for letting them down. And everybody's entitled to bad days, even bad weeks. I have them. It happens. But there is a sense of responsibility within the culture and within the organization that everybody's just kind of got each other's back, and there's a pretty good understanding that that's the way it's going to be. So we're pretty liberal.
It's awesome, man. I mean, and that's when you have bad days and stuff, I mean, here's the thing, right? As leaders, as small business owners, and for anybody watching this, like, you really want to, as a leader, you want to lead the way to adversity. And you want your team to actually watch you leading. You're leading the way to adversity, and you start with yourself. You give your full commitment, and you be that example with a sharp, well laid out plan to the best of our ability. And I can tell you, one of the things that we constantly laugh about is that golden sword thing that we talk about, right? It's like, hey, listen, guys, I'm right here with you. I am responsible. I'm the leader. We don't have 10 leaders. I lead, and we've got our management team, our core management team, and I'm committed to leading. And if you guys are willing to be right here with me with your golden swords, and we're continuing forward on this push, on this plan that I've set, that I truly believe in, that you guys are committed to believing in as well, then we're going to get to where we need to get. And that may not happen in a month. It may not happen in 2 or 3 months, but it's going to happen. If you have that leadership, if you have that commitment and that confidence, that trust, that loyalty by your team, you're going to be unstoppable. In my opinion, you're unstoppable. And that's, that's really that's overcoming adversity. It's overcoming challenges with you first and your team coming right with you, right?
Yeah. That's where the magic happens.
It is. It definitely. So I guess, just to wrap up here, Kevin, I mean, we've got these couple months left. I know that, everybody's striving for the ultimate push. If you have set a goal, if you haven't set a goal, please do reach out to us at any point through social media channels or wherever and say, I don't even know where to set my goal. And based upon a few questions that we can ask, we can kind of point you in the right direction as to where that goal could be. A lot of people say, I want to do $1 million in revenue. Well, that's fantastic. And what's your average job price? And they say $500, and you're saying, oh, well, you've got 2,000 jobs to do here at $500 a piece. Can you do that with 2 guys on a truck? Probably not. And so we can help you with those kind of things, but that goal setting. So with these 2 months left, it's really understanding your numbers. It's having a team that's there right with you, having tight culture, and really just positioning yourself from a data perspective, an analytical perspective to that target. I know a lot of paving companies have had to pivot from capital projects type work to asphalt maintenance, maintaining pavement assets and beautifying the investment, so to speak. And that's something that a lot of paving companies have adjusted. So are you seeing growth in the seal coating this year?
Oh yeah, it's yeah, for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Well,
yeah. Well, it's funny because we had a vision to double down on that piece of our business before the pandemic hit. So it's reinvested in quite a bit of equipment for that side of the business this year, as you well know, and fortunate that we did. And I think as we continue, that will, for the next several years, continue to be a big and growing piece of our business. Really do.
It's awesome, man. Congrats on that growth. And imagine, right, being a paving company going through this period with the pandemic and not being able to adjust to the maintenance side of the business. Do you believe that every paving company really should have an asphalt maintenance division?
I think if you don't, you better right now. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, there's so much misguided and inconsistent data and information out there in the world we live in right now that who knows when this thing's really going to turn, or if we're even at the bottom yet. I mean, this could be who knows? It could be a 2-year deal. It could be a 5-year deal.
Right.
So I think if you've got any cash or resources that you can set and manpower to set yourself up to offer, other pieces of this industry we're in, I think it's a good time to explore that. I really do. If you are not diversified right now within your own organization, you're screwed.
Right. Well, this is awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time of the day. I do want to add one more thing, and we spoke about this just earlier before we popped on here, and it was about who we're actually really competing with. So competition is a big, bold word that scares a lot of people, and competition, local competition, and then basically having competition that might beat you down or leave fake reviews or chop at your legs or do things to ultimately try to break your building down. There was a video that I'll share in the comments below from Gary Vaynerchuk. You saw that video, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah.
And that video is basically about building your building instead of actually working on destroying other people's buildings. And building your building is something so incredible, because what it reminds me of is, as we say the word competition, everybody thinks competition, that's, local competition, other people that are grabbing market share in your business. But that's not the competition we're speaking about. We're talking about the competition in your head. The competition is not your competition that you're perceiving your competition to be. Your competition is you. The competition is that inner voice that speaks to you saying, I need to be focusing on my competitors and what they're doing constantly. And if they say something bad about me, I want to figure out how to get revenge or do something there or do whatever it is there. When really all we need to be doing is blocking out that noise that's coming into our head and stay focused with our teams on the mission at hand, which is achieving our goals in our companies, so that at the end of the year, end of the season, when we hit those goals or come as close as we possibly can, we're able to celebrate together because you've overcome the competition that survives right inside of that head of yours,
Yeah. Couldn't have said that any better, brother.
And well, listen, Kevin, always, man, much love. Appreciate everything that you do. You're incredible, incredible leader in the industry and your business. And I know that so many people respect you tremendously. So thank you for always taking that time to share, man.
You got it, man. Thanks for this platform. Really good to talk to you, man.
Always, brother. Love you too, man. Talk to you soon, brother. See ya.